In this video, we will talk about hallucinations in Alzheimer's disease, and I will show you some strategies that can help us manage the symptom and support our loved ones. What is Alzheimer's disease? Well, Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative condition characterized by a progressive decline in cognitive and behavioral functions. And so this consequently leads to the emergence of various symptoms related to memory and behavior, in language, orientation, in space and time, and also those that are called psychotic symptoms, including indeed hallucinations. Alzheimer's is an age-related condition, but let's be clear, it's not a disease that only affects older people. Unfortunately, there is currently no cure, but it has been observed that early diagnosis and timely social and healthcare support and a good relational network around the person suffering from it can somewhat improve their quality of life, and a good relational network around them. For the person suffering from it, their lifestyle can improve to some extent, not only for our loved ones, but also for those who take care of them. As I was saying, here we will talk about hallucinations. What is a hallucination? Well, a hallucination is a false perception in the absence of an external stimulus. What does that mean? It means that the person sees or hears things that aren't actually there. They might see a person who isn't actually in the room at that moment. They might hear voices and in reality there's no one talking. These are all symptoms that can somehow be linked to environmental stimuli. For example, the voices can come from the television or the radio as well as the images. The person confuses those elements coming from an object with real elements. A visual hallucination can, for example, be caused by the reflection of the person in the mirror. A person with Alzheimer's doesn't recognize themselves when looking in a mirror, so that person appears as a stranger. It can be related, for example, to a room that is too dark. There's little light in the house, so this can lead to the development of a hallucination. Or there's a part of the room that's slightly dim. Well, that dim light can lead to the development of a hallucination. Clearly, what we need to keep in mind is that what our loved one is experiencing at that moment is absolutely real. So we can really do very little to make them understand that it's not like that. In fact, we should avoid doing all of this. What is it that we need to do? Clearly, we need to try to reassure him. We need to make him understand that he's not alone. Reassuring him, what does that mean? It means, in a way, to become an accomplice in his story. If he tells us that there's someone in the house that he's afraid of, we need to protect him. So maybe we should go and talk to that person, even if we know that no one is actually there. Try to tell our loved one, look, don't worry, I'll take care of it, I'll send him outside. If we realize that the hallucination is caused, for example, by a mirror, well, let's remove that mirror. If we realize that the hallucination is due to a room being too dark, let's try to create a light source in that room. Similarly, if this light, this dimness is excessively concerning, so let's try to increase the lighting in that room. This is because these are all factors that can lead a person with Alzheimer's to develop a hallucination. Clearly, the story is not a real story. The content of the story is not my real content. But we shouldn't think that what he's telling us is completely devoid of reality, because he's telling us something else. He's telling us something that might be more related to his emotional sphere, to his fear, to his anguish, to his anxiety. That's why what we need to do is try to calm him down, try in some way to calm ourselves down in that moment too. We need to, how should I put it, play a role. We need to play a part in this story. This is because only by doing all of this can we create that space for listening, which is absolutely necessary in order to be able to help the other person, to be able to help ourselves.